Welcome back, everybody. Next session is a technology showcase focusing on the important subject of upcycling plastics. So how can we add value to recycled plastics by restoring, improving, and tailoring their properties? We have 3 speakers lined up for you. They're each going to give a short presentation on their particular innovations, and then they'll be joining me on the stage for a Q&A. So if you have any questions for the speakers, please keep a note of them and save them for the discussion at the end when we'll have all 3 speakers together. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, who is Leonardo Forna. He's Marketing and Sustainability Manager at Sirmax. I think many of you will know Sirmax. They're a global plastics compounder and recycler that has its headquarters here in Italy, and it's celebrating 60 years in business. So happy birthday to Sirmax, and welcome to Leonardo.
Thank you for the introduction. So nice to see you, everybody here. Now I will show you some. I don't know if this is okay. This is true. So I will explain how Sirmax and what Sirmax is doing inside the business of recycling plastics, and how we can enhance the performances through our compounding part. So we will see Sirmax at a glance, then some main numbers on PCR feedstock from municipal waste, ELV, and WE, and then some technical application developments with state-of-the-art technologies that we have. So basically, Sirmax is a family-owned business with 13 plants worldwide, basically 6 in Europe, 2 in the US, 1 in Brazil, and 2 in India, with 420 million of turnover and 850 employees. We work through 7 R&D centers, which are mainly connected to the product line that we have. We operate through 61 production extruders, plus 13 that are dedicated exclusively for R&D activities. This is a brief overview. So 6 plants in Northeast Italy, 2 plants dedicated to circular business. 1 is for recycling. We decided to create and include the recycling business since 2019 to have internally the feedstock to produce our engineering compounds for polypropylene and HDPE. And then we have also one business unit dedicated to biopolymers. We have the second recycling plant in the US, which is treating post-industrial scraps that is helping our compounding plants in US. We have basically 5 families of products. One is the core business, polyolefin compounds. Then we have engineering and styrenics compounds, thermoplastic elastomers, circular solution coming from PCR, and biosolution. We serve many different kind of application and markets, starting from automotive, home appliances, electrical, electronics, and so on. So why Sirmax decided to enter inside the PCR business? But basically because it was considered as a, let's say, business that can have an improvement in the coming years. We can consider that only 50% of PP today is recycled, and due to significant legislation can be successful, improved in the next future. You can see here one of the main law that will become helpful for our recycling business, so the PPWR. And just considering that by 2030, all the packaging that will be marketed should be recyclable. In fact, today in our recycling business, we lost one part of the material because they are not recyclable. So we expect that in the future, with this PPWR, the quality of the material will increase and we will have more and more material. If we see other legislation concerning recyclate, we can see that, for example, the ELV directive will force the producers of plastic parts for automotive to include at least 20% of post-consumer plastics coming from post-consumer sources, of which 5% coming from ELV waste. And this is very important to keep in mind, because nowadays we don't see in the market such a big quantity of ELV post-consumer coming from automotive business. So on the other side, circular economy is also driven from targets that OEMs are setting in their sustainability policies. For example, you can see Volvo, at least 25% of recycled of bio-based contents in all components, and also Audi, 25% of sustainable materials per car by 2025. For sure, this is really in Europe. What is sure that also in China and Korea, Japan, and US, they are not following what is coming in Europe. So this is just a picture that is showing which is today the amount of plastics that are currently recycled in ELV. And as you can see, only one small part is recycled effectively, while one important part is used for energy recovery, and the other part for landfilling. So this is another feedstock that is connected to so electrical and electronic component. We are talking about washing machine, fridges, dishwasher, and so on. And as you can see, we have very different materials that are included in this kind of application. And also in this case, the supply chain that we are having today is recycling only a few parts of this kind of material, while one big part is currently lost. We have some expectation of also in this side, because we have some regulation coming on recyclability and also on post-consumer plastics to be included in this kind of application. So we can expect also a little bit of increasing of, let's say, recycled plastic from this supply chain. But for sure, the post-consumer coming from the domestic waste today is the most constant and the most present feedstock in the market. And this is why Sirmax decided to start from post-consumer waste. So we will see in the next slide the chart that is showing the upcycling process that we are currently developing. But this is only the first part of our journey. So the 2030 strategy on PCR material starts from waste from packaging, because as already say, this is constant in the market. We have a viability, we have the technology to work with it. We expect improvement in the next future. We are currently working with the external supplier, certified supplier for post-consumer coming from and we will be able to offer customers also some automotive materials when coming from ALV, when the supply chain will be ready in the future. So we invest in a plant in Italy and one other plant in the US, working with, in Italy with post-consumer coming from packaging waste with a capacity of 35 kilotons. And in US with 18 kilotons of capacity. They are basically working as an internal supplier that can ensure Sirmax standards for recycled plastics. So we start from certified plastic waste sourcing from mainly Italian consortia. Then this plastic base, which is already separated, PP and HDPE, is used in our production to produce 100% recycled plastics. Then this feedstock is used as basic formulation in other compounds. So our R&D is working to try to evaluate which is the best solution for the application of the compound that we will produce in the other plants of Sirmax Group. So the state of the art of today is this one, is shown in this slide. So now we are working a lot with the European OEMs, and not only. And what they are looking for us? from us, they are looking performances, they are looking sustainability performances also, they are looking cost, and they are looking readiness. And with the compound that we actually are able to produce using one part of the recycling feedstock from the PCR, we are able to have performances which are in line with the OEM standards, sustainability performances that increase thanks to the use of post-consumer plastics, cost which can be comparable to prime virgin material, and readiness because we have volumes to deliver to the market. So in the last part of my presentation, I will show you some specific application that we have already developed with our customers. I always say that usually when we are talking about green materials, we will face some marketing projects. So some customers, usually they ask us from some strange source of material, but they are not considering about the feedstock, the quality, the constancy of the material. So with this kind of feedstock that we have today, we are able to provide industrial projects. So projects that can have volumes and can have a viability and can have a rentability. This is one example with the ABS compound that we are not producing internally, but we are producing internally the compound, the source of the material we are supplying from our supplier partner. This is the best example in automotive industry, I think, because we were able to have a constance of 30% of PCR inside automotive door panel. Probably you know that automotive is the most demanding field where to use plastic waste, because we have other issues, we have UV issues, we have anti-scratch resistance issues, we have color issues. So we have to mix all these features and be able to provide customers a material that will be constant in the future. This is another application for the furniture business. We collaborate with our customer to develop an entire line of chairs made with one part up to 40% of PCR. Here in this case, we work with them with a different variety of colors. So we try to find which was the best recycled content to each color. So we started from the white. White is very critical. We use only 5%, unfortunately, now, up to the dark colors that can contain up to 40%. But the main issue is that we had the opportunity to work with a wide range of colors, also in aesthetic components. So concluding, 3 main points that should be taken into consideration when companies have to face this new kind of material. We have to work in synergy because this is new, let's say, technology. This is a new kind of materials, and they cannot be taken as a virgin prime materials. So we should have a pragmatic approach, and we should, starting from the beginning, with taking in mind that we cannot consider the same material, the recycled material, like a virgin one. For sure, the company should invest in new technologies. So our customers should invest in their own project, because otherwise the recycling company cannot invest to enhance the performance of the material, and have a new vision and pragmatism. So the creation of new supply chain for ELV and we will be very important in the future, because otherwise we will not have the material and the quality to produce new compounds for the same application in the future. So if you need further information, please don't hesitate also to pass through our stand, booth C51, and thank you for your attention.